Guys, we gotta start this one off with an apology. In yesterday's video, I said that if Halloween 2020 films in South Carolina along with Halloween 2022, it will be the first time that 3 movies in the Halloween franchise filmed in the same location, and it would be the first time that Haddonfield was in the same place for more than 2 movies. I regret to inform you that I was wrong about this. Halloween 4, Halloween 5, and Halloween 6 were all filmed in Salt Lake City, Utah. I regret my mistake, and I hope we can move past this. God, this thing is so hot. This is not worth it for the joke. It's so tight and small. That was obviously a joke, guys. I just wanted to start this video off wearing this mask because it's sick as fuck and I haven't put it on yet. If you want one of your very own, go check out CK Costumes. They're linked down in my description. How's it going, everyone? My name is Jimmy Champane, and welcome to the second Halloween alert of this week. We finally retired the Halloween 2018 title for this one. From now on, you're going to be seeing Halloween 2020, so if you want to see my latest updates, make sure you search for that. So Halloween 2018 ranks pretty high up there for most people as one of the best sequels in the entire franchise. Most people. I also don't think I'm going too far by saying it has a pretty definitive ending. But people like me, and I assume you if you're watching this video, who know the franchise inside and out, know that Michael can never die, and we've been waiting for Blumhouse to announce a sequel for a few months now. I know, the movie came out last October and it's only been a few months, but guys, this movie totally reinvigorated the franchise and pulled in $250 million. You'd think we'd be hearing an announcement sooner rather than later. Because of that, rumors have been popping up all over the place saying that there's going to be a new writer, the sequel will come out next year, there's going to be 2 sequels filmed back to back, and that of course David Gordon Green won't be returning. But today we're finally talking about some pretty definitive info from the people over at Collider that's letting us know we're not going to have to wait all that long for a Halloween sequel. According to Jeff Snyder, Blumhouse is ramping up to shoot the Halloween sequel right after Labor Day this year, and then they're going to release it on October 16th of 2020. If that release date is true, it's almost 2 years to the day after Halloween 2018, which is perfect timing in my opinion. And not only that, but Jamie Lee Curtis is looking to come back, and so is Andy Matichak as Allison Strode. And the bad news for all the Karen Strode haters out there is that Judy Greer is also signed on to come back. But the biggest and best news of all here is that not only is David Gordon Green coming back to direct this movie, he's also going to be writing the script. And guys, I don't know what that means for the story treatment that Scott Teems came up with, but what I'm assuming is that was always going to be a contingency plan, and that the plan from the very beginning was to bring David Gordon Green back, and we just didn't know about it. And if that wasn't the case, and they didn't know that David Gordon Green was coming back, I can't fault them for having that script written up. It's always good to be ready. Another thing I think a lot of you guys are going to be happy about is that it seems like someone at Miramax or Blumhouse or Universal or Trancast, like someone on the production side, is listening to fan feedback, because this time around, instead of co-writing the script with David Gordon Green, Danny McBride is just going to be executive producing, which makes sense because he did executive produce the last time around. There's actually quite a few executive producers on this one, especially compared to the last movie, and that makes sense because it made so much money. But the 2 big names that stuck out the most to me were Jamie Lee Curtis and John Carpenter. That pretty much covers what we do know, so let's talk about what we don't. There's no word on whether or not John Carpenter is coming back to do the score this time around with his son and his godson, but honestly, he said quite a few times that he would if they asked him to, so I don't really see a future without John Carpenter doing the soundtrack, at least. The report also didn't say who would be playing Michael Myers this time around, but since it's not the triumphant return of Halloween and it's also not the 40th anniversary, I kind of doubt that Nick Castle will be back. He was only in a couple shots in the last movie anyway, so what I'm assuming is that James Jude Courtney is going to be Michael Myers throughout the entire thing, but until we know for sure, I'm not going to say anything definitive. And now we have to get serious and talk about the title of this movie. So I know in yesterday's video I made a few jokes about it, but honestly guys, as much as it pains me to say it, it's just killing me inside. I think they're going to call this Halloween 2. And I just realized that makes it the 4th Halloween 2, because you have Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, last year's Halloween 2, and then this one's going to be Halloween 2 even though it's Halloween 3. I think the reason they're going to do that is because they want to address to casual fans that this is part of a new trilogy. It makes sense when you think about it from that standpoint, but I think they should call it Halloween 12. I don't actually think they should call it Halloween 12. I don't know what they should call it. They kind of f***ed themselves by calling it Halloween last year. Unfortunately, we also don't know where Haddonfield is going to be this time around, but now that David Gordon Green is coming back, I would say that it'll probably be in South Carolina again, which is totally fine with me. I'm all for keeping Haddonfield the same between movies. Might have gotten a little overzealous yesterday, like I said in my apology earlier, but you know, I want to see Haddonfield be consistent between movies. Is that so much to ask? And unlike last year's movie, which basically gave them 9 months to shoot and edit this thing and get it out into the public, this time they're gonna have a little over a year, which I think is a good thing overall. Guys, to me, this news is absolutely as good as it gets. It really kind of seems too good to be true, and I'm really hoping that Blumhouse comes out with an official announcement soon so I can let out this big breath that I've been holding in that maybe it's not a true report. But if this report is true, it really seems like they learned a lot in the last production and they're putting that towards this new movie, and I think it's good that they're taking their time. The reason I'm so happy David Gordon Green is coming back is because when you have stories that are connected from movie to movie, it's really hard to have a different team jump on and do it right. That's when you end up with things like Halloween 5 or The Last Jedi. And as much as I like The Last Jedi, it's a totally jarring movie when you compare it to The Force Awakens, and I just don't like situations like that. I want one consistent creative vision across every movie they're gonna do in one storyline, and that seems like what we're getting now, and that's awesome. And as a lifelong hardcore Halloween fan who's pretty much scrutinized every detail of this franchise for my entire life, I think David Gordon Green has more than earned his right to come back and do a sequel. I have some theories on how Michael could have survived the end of last year's movie, but that's another video I'm working on right now. So what I really want to say is thank you so much for sticking with me in the meantime between movies. It really means a lot. I know it takes me a little bit longer to get my videos up than other channels, so I really appreciate it if you waited all day and still came by. I think the thing you're getting from my channel that you're not getting from anyone else is that my brain is completely broken to the point that I was able to do over 50 videos on the same movie last year and still enjoy it when it came out in theaters. Like, I absolutely love that movie somehow. There's nothing good going on up here, but at least it lets me do 50 videos on one movie, right? So now I want to hear from you down in the comments what you think of all this awesome Halloween news, and if you're a new subscriber here or if you've been here for a while, it would really help me out if you hit that notification bell and turned on all notifications. And if you want to do me an even bigger favor, make sure when you get that notification, you click it right away and watch through the entire video. That's the only way YouTube will feed it out to the rest of my subs, which kind of sucks, but that's just the way it is. If you want to hear more of my voice talking about horror movies, my podcast Fear Frequency is linked down below, and also check out my Instagram if you want to keep up to date on what videos I'm working on as I'm working on them and not when I post them. Anyway guys, as always, my name is Jimmy Champane, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.